right, guys, we have learned that Shannon Sharpe has just paid tens of millions of dollars for this.
God.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you, Hunt, for the tip. Okay, guys, I can't take the panties off.
$10 million, guys.
Our next tip goal. Take panties off. I can't take it and take panties off until we get to our next tip goal, and then I'll take my panties off. But right now, I'm gonna rub the lotion, and then maybe you can wait, Hunt. Okay. Once we get to our $1,500 tip goal, I'll shake my without the panties on.
$1,500 for a day's work. And I wouldn't even say a day. I bet you she's been up on there for 2-3 hours. Maybe. She ain't even got to the point where she's taking her clothes off yet, and she's already gotten $1,500. If you're one of these guys that are giving a woman like this money, you're retarded. And I never want to hear you complain about the economy again. We complain about the economy, but OnlyFans girls are becoming multimillionaires. $1,500, you are retarded if you are the man that is donating to women like this. And at some point, you need to look in the mirror and be disgusted in your own behavior. And I never want to hear you complain about the economy or really any other aspect of your life because you're a sexual deviant who is a slave to your own lust.
Of course, as we all know, this is the beautiful, wonderful Gabby Zuniga. This was
Crazy,
Shannon Sharpe's girlfriend for 2 years. She's talking about how she will remove certain articles of clothing for $1,500 a piece. You got to reach these tip goals so that she will show more of her skin to you. Now, this is on her OnlyFans account where she is talking to hundreds, if not thousands of men trying to collect this $1,500. But she has just reached a settlement with Shannon Sharpe that is worth tens of millions of dollars. Let me ask you, look at her now. She's beautiful, correct? Would you pay her tens of millions? Does she deserve it? As a quick recap, you'll remember that Shannon met this girl, Gabby, at the gym. She was 19 years old at the time, and Shannon was like 56. She ended up filing a lawsuit in the beginning of this year against Shannon for $50 million. What was she claiming? She was alleging that when Shannon was at her gym, he was harassing her for her phone number. So this NFL Hall of Fame player is harassing her for her digits, but she gave it to him. Then this girl, Gabby, says, oh, well, Shannon Sharpe was harassing me.
He harassed her for the digits, but she answered the phone call. That makes sense. Like, our legal system is not caught up to the fact that gold-digging whores have ran rampant in society. And I wish I could say Shannon Sharpe deserves this. He deserves some punishment, but I can't say that he deserves $10 million because I don't think that she deserves $10 million. Obviously, a stupid choice by Shannon Sharpe. He deserves a punishment. I'm not angry that Shannon Sharpe has to pay the $10 million, by the way. I'm angry that a woman like her gets to get the $10 million from something so silly like this. Our society, I will never for the life understand the idea that our society is go pro-sexual revolution, body autonomy for women. But if a 19-year-old girl decides to use her body autonomy to sell it to guys like Shannon Sharpe, that's a problem? Isn't that pro whatever you say you pro? If you are pro sex work, who do you think that the sex workers are selling it to? Older men. Younger men don't buy sex work. So if you are pro sex work, you are automatically pro younger women sleeping with older men. That's what you for. So when situations like this happen, you can't start complaining. Protesting for sex work to be legal and then being angry that Shannon Sharpe is sleeping with this younger woman is like protesting for weed to be legal and then being angry that people are going to the dispensary. It makes no sense, and it's not consistent logic. But for some reason, our society campaigns for this stuff to be legal, says that it's okay. Women should have body autonomy, sexual revolution, and then things like this happen. And then all of a sudden, everybody's taken aback and clutching their pearls as if this isn't the thing that our society has fought for the past 60 years. Ever since the sexual revolution, and every song that every woman's dancing and shaking her butt to, on every social media platform, you see women doing the same thing, and every goddamn movie where women are doing the same thing, it's always met with, you go girl, use your body autonomy. And then when the natural conclusion of the things that we promoted for the last 60 years actually happens in real life, everybody's, I can't believe. What do you think this is?
To go over to his house. He wanted me to go over there. And then, of course she went. And not only did she go the first time, but she kept going back. She kept going back. Now, what did she say? She says during this time when she was going over to Shannon's house, Shannon was abusing her. This is what she put in her complaint, all of these allegations of abuse.
And then these women will keep going back to the same men willingly. They will drive or fly to these exact same men, and our legal system being absolute retards, and for some reason believing women over men in every circumstance, they just go, yeah, that's believable. Yeah, we believe that. Public opinion, yeah, he was sexually abusing this girl. Why would she keep going back if she was sexually abused? If he was harassing her for her number, why would she respond to the phone call that led to all of this in the first place? It just doesn't even logically make sense. But for some reason, when it comes to women making allegations on men, all logic goes out of the window, and a man is guilty until proven innocent. And I will say Shannon Sharpe deserves it. He simply deserves it. I'm just a little bit upset that a woman of her status is the type of person that gets this type of privilege to get $10 million. I just think that that's insane. I don't think that she deserves it.
She would claim that all this abuse was occurring, and then she would send Shannon Sharpe texts like this. You can see Gabby here sends Shannon a text saying, hey, I want to be abused, daddy.
Literally consent for the abuse. So now women don't have body autonomy, and if women consent to certain things, they're still not allowed to practice it. As a man, you're not allowed to practice it or you'll get in trouble. Women are allowed for sexual revolution. Women are allowed to do anything they want sexually without any reign. Even if they get pregnant, they can go get abortions. But you as a man, even if a woman says, I want to be abused, even if a woman flies to you, even if a woman drives to you willingly, pays for her own gas to do so, you got receipts of it. It doesn't matter. It's thrown out the window as long as she says at some point during that interaction, at any moment you abused her, it's thrown out the window and you're on the hook.
So she's asking for the same abuse that she's alleging that Shannon Sharpe did to her. She was complaining in her lawsuit that Shannon Sharpe was a monster, that Shannon would tie her up. But then what would this same girl tell Shannon in text messages? She wants to sue Shannon for $50 million for tying her up. And then she sends Shannon a text saying, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. This girl Gabby was complaining that Shannon would record her having intimate relations with him. But then in her own lawsuit, she admits to having sex with Shannon on FaceTime in front of Shannon's childhood friends like Bucket. Imagine the audacity of her suing Shannon for $50 million for recording them having sex together when both of them know that he's on FaceTime with his friends Bucket saying, hey, look at her, Bucket. I got a good one, don't I? This girl is absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy.
But guess what? This girl is laughing at Shannon all the way to the bank. She didn't need to study, didn't need to go to college, didn't need to sacrifice, and now she has generational wealth. More money than probably you and I will ever see in our lifetimes.
But it's okay because people who make money fast, almost all of lottery winners end up broke. They usually end up dead or in jail, but best case scenario is statistically speaking, they end up broke. Adrian Peterson made $100 million in his career. Recently, he said that he's broke. So even though it's a lot of money, these types of women who don't have the foresight to understand that they shouldn't sell themselves usually don't have the foresight to have an investment portfolio. So unless she gets a financial advisor today, she'll not only be broke, but then she'll have to deal with the fact that she's a public person, and no man of any merit or any self-respect is going to want to marry a woman like this. She's never going to get any respect anywhere. Now all she has is money, and that's probably the best silver lining out of this whole situation, is that the money that you did get does still come with the price, and oftentimes that price is more expensive than the money you have, and the people who get that money end up broke because they fighting off certain types of demons. So we'll see how this works out for her in the future. I guarantee you in 30 years she's going to be writing a book or doing some type of documentary on her sexual abuse with the legend Shannon Sharpe or whatever it may be.
So let me ask you, was this the whole plan from the beginning? Was it extortion? Well, she certainly got paid. Just look at what she wrote. Here is what Gabby wrote regarding the settlement. She says, today I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. Yeah, Shannon Sharpe gave you a life you would never imagined. But let's keep going. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter.
If nobody cares about your art, keep that shit to yourself. Just go ahead and sail into the sunset. move to Peru, move somewhere to Europe, try to blend in and act like you just inherited the money from your father passing away or something. Nobody cares about your art, man. We save it.
I love you all forever and ever. Oh man, this is so sad. Shannon Sharpe is out here retiring OnlyFans models. And here is Gabby's attorney, Big Tony Busby, confirming the settlement of the lawsuit. What does Tony say? He says on April 20th of 2025, the Busby law firm filed a complaint in Nevada, making several allegations against the one and only Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe on behalf of our client Gabby. Both sides acknowledge a long-term consensual and tumultuous relationship. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I am pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. And dismissed with prejudice just means that Gabby is not allowed to refile this ever again. She can make no further claim. By Shannon Sharpe paying her all of this money, her lips are permanently sealed. Now the question
I guarantee you in 20 years she's writing a book because she spent all her money and now she's doing a sob tour where she's going around crying on different podcasts and different TV shows talking about Shannon Sharpe. I damn near guarantee
is how much money did Shannon Sharpe pay Gabby Zuniga? Well, I'm gonna tell you my best professional educated guess on that amount. But first, we need to ask, why did he settle it all? When Gabby first filed this $50 million complaint, so many people took to social media to say, hey, Shannon Sharpe should not settle, shouldn't offer this girl a dime. They said by settling the case, he would be acknowledging that he's guilty of these allegations. They said that his reputation was worth fighting for and he should go to the ends of the earth to contest this case. Now, I've made a few videos on this topic and I have said in each and every one of those videos that this case will be settled.
There's no way he can save his reputation. Anytime the public sees that a woman is at any level of distress, even if this woman has literally signed up to sell herself, and you see proof that a lot of this stuff consensual, just the nature of some of the sexual acts that they may have done together won't make it so that he's ever going to be clear. He understands that because he probably knows a lot of the sexually deviant stuff, although consensual, will still look bad on paper, and if the public knows some of the specific stuff that he did that's going to be exposed during this lawsuit. She doesn't have a reputation that she has to uphold, so anything that she could think of, the most deviantly sexual things that they've done, she literally sells herself for money, so she don't care about her image. She's in it to attack his image because she knows that he cares about his image, and that's what's worth a lot to him.
We'll never see the first day of trial. I have practiced over 20 years and negotiated countless times, and I know the whole playbook. This case was never about Shannon Sharpe's guilt or innocence. Remember, this Gabby, she never went to the police. She never filed any type of police report. She never tried to get Shannon arrested for any of this alleged abuse that she's complaining about in this $50 million lawsuit. This entire situation was only about one thing. It was about the dollar. Now you may say, well, Lead, if this case was about money, why did Shannon offer to pay this girl millions of dollars? Shouldn't he have fought this case to protect his reputation? The answer is no. When Shannon's attorney let it slip that Shannon had offered this girl Gabby over $10 million, he didn't offer to settle this case in any type of guilt or innocence framework. If I'm going to be honest, in a very real way, Shannon settled this case for you. You say, for me? Well, what do you mean by that, Lead? Listen, the only reason Shannon makes any money at all is because of you and how you feel about him, how you judge him, what light you see him in. The only reason that Shannon makes any money is because you exist and you have money, and so companies want to get in front of you. These companies feel like you hold Shannon Sharpe in a certain esteem and you watch Shannon Sharpe, so they want to use Shannon Sharpe to get in front of you. When Shannon Sharpe teamed up with Cat Williams on that famous episode of his podcast, a lot of people were trying to figure out how much money did he make. Well, Shannon was being coy about the situation, saying, hey, I made however much you think I made. But Gabby let it slip that Shannon said to her, this is her allegation,
Pillow
that he
talking.
made $6 million on that one episode alone.
Shannon Sharpe pillow talking. Why is you sharing your intimate details with a woman that you paying to sleep with? By the way, he's paying this woman per meetup $25,000 per cheek, so $50,000. So this is not only a hoe, this is a greedy hoe. So it's different. And I really don't even think that. I think that genuine prostitutes live with even a sense of honor. They understand that their word is bond. They won't out men because they understand that their reputation is how they get paid. This is not really a prostitute. This is a man hater who found an easy way to make money through prostitution, and she's using the legal system in order to leverage it against this man. This isn't a woman who's a genuine prostitute.
Now, how did he make that $6 million? It's because companies paid YouTube to have their ads on that episode, and then YouTube split the money that they got from the companies with Shannon. So Shannon got a lot of money by chopping up this ad revenue from companies that sent the money to YouTube. YouTube says, Shannon, we got all of this money. We are going to keep 45%. We're going to give you 55%. And again, that's money that YouTube received from companies to get in front of Shannon Sharpe's audience. Who is Shannon Sharpe's audience? It's you. Now, in addition to that, Shannon may have had some sponsorships, some brand deals from who? From companies. Who wanted to get in front of who? They wanted to get in front of you. So it's so important for Shannon that you see him in a good light, because if you don't, then companies will not want to pay him to get in front of you. You're not going to watch him if you don't like him. Take Joe Rogan for a second. A lot of people like Joe Rogan, and Spotify gave Joe $100 million to get in front of Joe Rogan's audience. Then when that first contract for $100 million ended, Spotify gave Joe an additional $250 million. That's $350 million.
Yeah, you get paid a lot of money to talk shit. It's crazy.
That Joe Rogan received just so that Spotify can get in front of his audience. Now, Shannon Sharpe is looking at that and saying, well, wait a minute. Joe had the biggest podcast episode of all time on YouTube, but I did an episode and it surpassed Joe. Now I have the biggest episode. So me and Joe, really, we're kind of doing the same thing. We're kind of neck and neck.
No. No. Let's not get carried away. I think the Club Shay Shay is doing really well. I think that Shannon Sharpe is doing a really good job. I personally do not like his interview style. I think it's unauthentic. I think it's very commercial, but he spent a lot of time on national television, so it may come off that way to me. But either way, that's my personal opinion. Obviously, a lot of other people like it, but I don't think that Club Shay Shay is messing with Joe Rogan. I was watching Joe Rogan when I was in high school, so that's over 10 years ago now. So, yeah, I don't know if Club Shay Shay is at that level yet, but yeah, he's definitely doing well, though.
If Joe can get $100 million, why can't I? Honestly, if Joe can get $250 million, why can I not get the same money? So Shannon is looking at this and saying, hey, the most important thing for me is to stay marketable so that these companies want to get in front of you. If you like me, then these companies will want to pay me to get in front of you. So Shannon wanted to sell this case because he didn't want you to look at him all crazy. Well, why would you look at him all crazy? Shannon Sharpe thought that maybe some of his audience would be offended that Shannon liked to engage in all this race play in his relationships. Shannon likes to have all these white women say, hey, I want you to put a big black baby in me. We all know Shannon's from the deep south and he's older. He's from the generation where a lot of black people didn't have a lot of money and they were using the bathrooms in outhouses. Shannon didn't have indoor plumbing until he was in high school or college. Apparently, Shannon's upbringing in those times have influenced how he is today, and he likes to engage in race play, have these racial themes throughout his relationships. Maybe some of Shannon's audience would look at him like, man, I can't rock with that. They may say, you're a sick man. If people are offended and they stop watching him, then his audience shrinks. And if your audience shrinks, now companies are not going to want to pay you the same. Maybe Shannon thought that some of his audience would be turned off or offended by all of this domination that Shannon would introduce into his relationships. It's well known that this 2-year relationship with Shannon and Gabby was rocky. It was tumultuous, and Gabby had alleged that they got into an argument once and Shannon said, you disrespected me. Now I have to punish this butthole. Shannon Sharpe doesn't want you to know that.
Okay. That's okay, Shannon. That's too much, bro. That's too much. You need to go to Diddy crib, brother. You get too freaky out here. Freaky boy.
And may think that some of his audience, some of the women, might be turned off by anal destruction. Why on earth would Spotify pay Shannon Sharpe $250 million if Spotify is going to start getting emails from all these women saying, hey, why are you supporting Shannon Sharpe? We all know how fickle and sensitive these companies can be. They will drop you in a heartbeat. Shannon does not want to give any of these sponsors any ammunition, any reason to withdraw their support. Hold up, let's take a pause from this $50 million craziness for a quick word from our sponsor, Chapter Medicare. If you or someone you love is on Medicare, this is important. The Department of Justice just revealed a huge fraud case against top Medicare brokers, accusing them of steering seniors to plans paying the highest kickbacks and not the best plans for them. I've seen firsthand how confusing and frustrating Medicare can be. When I faced my own cancer diagnosis, even with my decades of legal experience, navigating healthcare felt impossible.
By the way, guys, this guy is heavily credible. He was like best friend. Well, he was really close to Kevin Samuels. I know MTR. They're all really close together. He was a divorce attorney for over 20 years. I'm not going to say where he's from, but he was a divorce attorney for over 20 years. And even as a YouTuber, the man came on to YouTube and became like the first or second most donated to or super chatted to YouTube channel on YouTube last year while he was fighting cancer. And the people who were supporting his channel didn't even know that he was fighting cancer because he just kept it to himself. He felt that it was deeply personal. And he has 20 years worth of divorce attorney experience. So this guy is super credible. He knows what he's talking about. If you guys like this video, he does a lot of these breakdowns of these legal things that's going on. You go check his channel. I'll leave a link in the comments and in the pinned comments and in the description down below. You guys go check out his channel. His name is The Lead Attorney, and I speak to him behind the scenes. The dude he's official for sure.
That's why I'm partnering with Chapter Medicare. Chapter searches through every available Medicare plan to find the one truly tailored to your doctors, your prescription, and your budget. Completely unbiased and free. On average, seniors who've worked with Chapter saved over $1,100 a year. So if you want straightforward, unbiased help, call Chapter right now at 572-243-0163 or visit askchapter.org/lead. It's quick, it's free, and it could save you hundreds. The number is right here on the screen, 572-243-0163. Right. Give yourself peace of mind today. Now, back to this Club Shay Shay dumpster fire. Now, me personally, I don't care what you do in the bedroom as long as it's consensual and everybody's having fun. But these companies are not like that. They cannot take a lot of heat. They cannot take pressure from the community, from their audience, telling them to cancel somebody. Yeah. And here in this case, you've got a black man who's almost 60 putting apparently dog collars on 19-year-old white girls talking about, I'm going to choke you out and I'm going to destroy your rectum. There's no way that Spotify wants to pay $250 million for that. It's obvious that Shannon Sharpe had to settle this case, not for any type of guilt or innocence framework, but he had to settle it for you so that you don't look differently upon him. If he can keep everything that Gabby knows a secret, then you see him as Big Unc. You see him as Shay Shay. You see him as schooling Ocho Cinco. Ocho's writing down all of Shannon's wise words.
And people wonder why they don't get the blessings that someone else. Ask yourself. See, you think you're doing everything right, but see, God know your heart.
Oh, my goodness.
See, you can fool everybody else, but you can't fool that man upstairs, and you wonder why. Ask yourself. Ask yourself when you're alone and you by yourself.
You will continue.
You ask yourself, and this is why anytime, like when there's people in the manosphere or in this type of space, red pill space, whatever it may be, it's always these types of dudes that are in the mainstream that look at us crazy when we talk about what we talk about. But these are the ones that be the worst, that be the perpetrators. These are the perps. Like, you look at Cam Newton, he had a guy named Corey Holcomb on his show, and when Corey Holcomb was talking about the fact, he's like, I got a fast car, I got some money, and I got access to women in poverty, so I'm winning. Like, I don't need a lot. And Cam Newton was looking at him like he crazy, but Cam Newton got like 4 different baby mamas. Cam, you know what he talking about. So these types of men that are in the mainstream, they try to keep this persona up and not talk about the types of things that we talk about, but it's only because they're just catering to a female audience. They know exactly what we're talking about, and they're honestly the worst perpetrators of these types of things. You don't see no people in the manosphere having these types of issues. You can say something about Andrew Tate, but then Andrew Tate would tell you that he's not even a part of the manosphere or the red pill space or whatever it may be. I don't consider myself to be either, but I know that people will associate me with it anyway, so I'm just, hey, whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to fight against it. If you think that my opinions are red pill, manosphere, whatever, just put me in there. I don't care. But for the guys that try to act like they don't know what we talk about over in these types of spaces, those are usually the worst perpetrators. And they try to play boo-boo and they try to act like the fool because they don't want to lose their female audience.
Continue to look up at Shannon Sharpe as a wise aunt and not some old dummy who's paying women tens of millions of dollars to put dog collars on them. Just mathematically, just by the numbers, it makes sense. It's really an investment. Shannon says, I will pay $10 million on the front end to get $100 million on the back. Pay 15, 20 million on the front end to get $250 million on the back end. That's exactly what Shannon should do. I myself will pay any woman $10 million if I can turn around in the same instance and get $100 million right back. I pay her 15 million to silence her forever and then get a check for 200 million. I would do that all day long. That's what countless celebrities have done in the past. That's what Shannon has done right now. And that's what celebrities and these athletes and people with money, that's what they're going to continue to do in the future.
Yeah, he better be very careful and really wrestle that lust demon that he has, because he is now a target. He's retired this woman. There are plenty of women who are willing to sell themselves and they are sexual deviants and they are more attractive than that girl that are now going to target him because he is Roth IRA Unc. That man is paying people's retirements.
All of the people saying that Shannon shouldn't settle, shouldn't pay this girl a dime, they don't know how the game is played. I can tell you as a 20-year attorney that this is exactly how you do it. Now, let's ask ourselves, how much money did this girl Gabby receive? If we look again at Tony's announcement of the settlement, of course, there are no numbers that are shown. Almost always in these settlements, the terms of the agreement are confidential. You remember when Puffy settled with Cassie? No one knew how much Cassie received until Cassie had to testify on the stand and disclose that she actually got $30 million. So the question is, how much did Gabby receive? Well, I will tell you that in my personal
It's just crazy these women can double dip, bro. What kind of a system have we set up as men that allows these type of women to do this? This is crazy. You got $30 million. You was in a crackhead relationship where both of y'all was both crack fiends. Y'all love crack. He got status. You attached to the status. You willingly meeting up and doing all these freak offs. At the end of the day, you got paid $30 million and you got a little bit of a career on top of that. But you got paid a $30 million check and you came back to double dip.
Opinion. I believe that Gabby got $33 million. Now you say, well, Lead, how did you come up with that number? Well, let me tell you, we have to remember that Gabby hired an attorney. She hired Big Tony. I promise you that Tony does not work for free. We lawyers, we attorneys.
Yeah, he looked like he in your pockets. Yeah, if you see her lawyer and if he look like this, you gonna pay some type of money for sure. Any lawyer that got their hair slicked back like that, oh, they coming for that money.
Promise you that Tony does not work for free. We lawyers, we attorneys, we charge on cases like this on a contingency basis. That means that we only make money if you win the case, but we are going to take a percentage. Now, how much is the percentage? Usually it's 30% if we can get the case resolved, if we can get it settled before we have to file a lawsuit. But if we have to file a lawsuit, then our percentage bumps up to 40. Now, there are no hard and fast rules. This is just in general what attorneys charge. So we know that Tony filed the lawsuit. So let's say that he's going to get 40%. If Gabby's total compensation is $33 million, then Tony's 40% is $13.3 million. How much does that leave Gabby? It leaves her with $20 million. That's right. The girl that you see on the screen has gotten a wire transfer for $20 million. million, in my opinion. Ask yourself, is she worth it? I will stop for a second to point out that it's commonplace nowadays on social media to have this kind of gender war, this men against women. A lot of men are asking women, well, hey, what are you actually bringing to the table? A lot of men think women's standards are too high. These women say, I am the table. Don't take me out to the Cheesecake Factory. Take me to fine dining. Take me on trips first class. Buy me these $50,000 Birkin bags. The men are saying, well, why would I do that? You're not worth it. And the women say, yes, I am. And they point to this. These women say, you're crazy if you think that I'm not on par with Gabby.
Yeah, that's why I understand why some women are resentful towards how weak men are sexually. Because men who are sexually weak and sexually deviant just give these women the lives that some of our wives and some of our sisters and aunts just dream of, that they'll never be able to attain. Some of the lives that we dream of, but we'll never be able to obtain. I think those women are resentful towards these types of situations because they don't understand the full depth of it, and they don't understand what these types of women give up to make this money and how it tends to end for a lot of these types of women. But at the end of the day, I understand at face value how a lot of them look at men who give these types of women money, and they look at men as a whole as stupid because they see these types of cases of these average looking women just getting this type of money off of manipulating men through sex, really.
I'm a 10. If Gabby got $20 million, why can't I? These women look around and see these cases where men are paying so much money to, let's be honest, kind of average looking women.
Yeah.
They say, well, why would I expect less if people like Gabby can get tens of millions of dollars? You can't take me to fine dining? If she's worth 20 million, I at least have to be worth 15 million, right? And if we're honest, it is a fact that this girl got millions and millions of dollars. So who's right in this situation? Let me ask you, how much would you pay Gabby? We saw that she was charging $25,000 per cheek. Is it worth it? These are really interesting times we are living in. Now, let's do this as final question. I think that Gabby asked for $33 million so she could break Tony off 13 and keep 20. We know that Cassie got 30 million. The question is, how do you view Cassie getting 30 million while Gabby gets 20? Whose situation do you think is better? We know that Cassie had to endure 10 years of abuse, if we can be honest, but she got 30. Gabby, let's say, only gets 20, but she only had to date Shannon for 2 years. So Gabby gets $20 million, but she saves 8 years of her youth. We know for Cassie to get the 30, she was getting beat on. We saw the hotel video. We saw the video where she was hiding up under that blanket with Puffy stomping on her. She got to 30, but then Gabby over here, she's getting choked out. She has a dog collar on her. There's some rectal obliteration going on, but she gets the 20. Who do you think of the two women came out better? Cassie had to have sexual relations with all of these different men.
She didn't have to do it. She signed up to do it. She willingly did it, and then she played victim. I mean, that's not even something that's a secret at this point, in my opinion, but that's my opinion of it. Everybody has their different idea of what that looks like, so I understand if y'all think that I'm a bad guy for believing that it is what it is. Nothing makes the heart heal like $30 million. By the way, guys, this video is called Attorney Breaks Down Why Shannon Sharpe Paid Up to Settle $50 Million Lawsuit. How much did she get? And this is by the lead attorney. Again, I highly recommend this channel. I'll leave a link in the pinned comments and in the description down below. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's a Help Brother Out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.